Dear colleagues, I'm Christoph Diener from the Medical Faculty of the University Duisburg-Essen in Germany, and I would like to tell you what happened in neurology in the month of October 2021. Overall, it was a frustrating month in terms of news for the treatment of a number of diseases. I would like to start with Alzheimer's disease. There are preclinical models, and these are Alzheimer's mice, where it could be shown that the angiotensin converting enzyme plays an important role in the deposition of both beta amyloid and tau protein. And this was the basis on which a group in the UK performed a study in patients with Alzheimer's disease, and they randomized these 211 patients to either losartan, an ACE inhibitor, or to placebo. And the primary endpoint after 1 year was brain volume measured by MRI. And I don't think it's a big surprise for you that there was no benefit of losartan over placebo. Simply, even if this would work, 211 patients are not enough to show a benefit in a study on Alzheimer's disease. A second study looked at the possible benefit of mirtazapine, an antidepressant, to treat agitation in patients with dementia. You are all aware that many patients with dementia, once they get agitated, cannot tolerate neuroleptics, and therefore there is a need for alternative treatment. This study was also done in the UK with 204 patients, and the primary endpoint was the Cohen-Mansfield Agitations Inventory. But unfortunately, there was no benefit of mirtazapine over placebo, and there was even an increase in mortality with active drug over placebo. Now, you are all aware that an important risk factor for dementia is atrial fibrillation. And this is true for both vascular dementia and Alzheimer's disease. And a number of studies have shown that there is a benefit of anticoagulation with vitamin K antagonists if people with atrial fibrillation are anticoagulated to prevent dementia. A study published in Heart analyzed data from 39,200 people in the UK who were for the first time anticoagulated because of atrial fibrillation. And then they compared vitamin K antagonists, which were used in 53% of the patients, with NOACs, non-vitamin K oral anticoagulants, which were used in 47%. And the endpoint was the development of dementia. And the risk to develop dementia was reduced by 16% in people who used DOACs or NOACs compared to vitamin K antagonists. Now let me move to another important issue, and this is sepsis on the intensive care unit. 3 years ago, there was a small study which indicated that possibly the combination of thiamine, which is vitamin B1, ascorbic acid, and hydrocortisone could improve the prognosis of sepsis. And this was now analyzed in a meta-analysis in critical care medicine, a total of 1,335 patients, and the primary endpoint was the sequential organ fault failure assessment score within 72 hours. There was unfortunately no benefit of this combination, both for organ failure, mortality, and kidney function. So this very well tolerated treatment obviously is not effective. Now finally, let me come to the prevention of chronic migraine. From the traditional migraine preventive drugs, we have scientific evidence for the benefit of topiramate and onabotulinum toxin A, and from the new drugs, all the 4 monoclonal antibodies against CGRP or the CGRP receptor are effective in patients with chronic migraine. A study group in India has now compared propranolol with topiramate in chronic migraine. They randomized 95 patients either on propranolol 160 milligrams per day or topiramate 100 milligrams per day, and they slowly titrated up in 1 month, and they followed these patients for half a year. And both drugs were equally effective. The reduction in migraine days per month was between 5 and 7, with a numerical benefit of propranolol over topiramate. Quite astonishing was the rate of patients who tolerated this treatment. There were very few patients who terminated treatment with either topiramate or propranolol. This is very important for many countries where monoclonal antibodies are simply too expensive, that now we have three choices, obviously, to treat chronic migraine. One is propranolol, one topiramate, and one onabotulinum toxin A. Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, 5 studies published in October 2021, and hopefully in November I have more positive studies to report. I'm Christoph Diener from the Faculty of Medicine at the University of Duisburg-Essen in Germany, and thank you very much for listening and watching.